All right, just want to bring that to your attention. So now, caveat emptor is also in service to that purpose. And then you see the additional 7 acts in the back of the questionnaire, and it says additional bylaws, right?
Additional bylaws, yeah.
Yep. Now, so that means a cover. Now read the first act.
Now the first act is grant.
Get the mic, please.
My apologies. Questionnaire and additional laws for the Moorish Americans by the Prophet Noble Ali. Act 1. Grand sheiks and governors and heads of all temples, all businesses. Each said temple must be approved by the Prophet Noble Ali before acting upon by any members. Let it be finance, property, or any line of life that will cause the members to sacrifice finance, etc., that will cause the support of any group of members. Any former officer that violates these laws is subject to be removed from his office under a heavy restriction, etc., by the Prophet or the Grand Sheik.
Caveat emptor.
Yes.
Now, you notice how there's been very little emphasis put on that, on the additional bylaws, and particularly Act 1.
Yes.
Now, that's concerning the infiltration and then undermining the cause and the principles of the movement. However, the principles of the movement continue even if some of the administrators have, in their intent, neutralized the platform of the temples.
Yes.
Because the movement is the issue. The temple was only a vehicle.
Right, it was a means of conveyance.
All right, so back to principle. Because you're talking principle without him as at the head of this movement, because the movement is a spirit movement and it's worldwide. It supersedes the temple or any other platform.
Yes.
Stay focused on it by constitutional principle. I just want to bring that to everyone's attention.
Yes.
Now, because we already understand that even Kaiklos, who are the grand protectors of the Christian creed, who is Kaiklos? The official missionary, this is to the floor. The official designation of the grand protectors of the Christian creed is what order on Earth planet?
Knights Templar. Am I wrong?
Kaiklos, Ku Klux Klan.
Ku Klux Klan, yeah.
They are the grand protectors of the Christian creed.
That's right.
Their missionary work is to keep you from achieving what? Your rightful place in the airship.
And disunity, and that's
of course it is. So that's what the denationalization is.
Yeah.
But Drali brought you back the confidence of your name and your nationality. He set the status correct. Now you must build on that. So your communication with the opposite pole, just like we got these lights here, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got that negative and you got the positive.
Right.
If you're dealing with the polars of the planet, you're dealing with anode and cathode.
Right.
Right?
Right.
If you're dealing with the philosophies of the reflective of the energies of thoughts here,
right,
you've got Allah and cathode or Catholic.
Right.
Anode, cathode, right.
Right.
Positive, negative.
Vacuum tube, right. Yeah, yeah.
However, there must be a balance.
Mm-hmm.
And so those things which allude to slavery must be removed from the planet because you're throwing off the balance.
Yes.
What is the meeting point for the positive and negative? In the balance. It's Peru. It's that pole in the middle of the scales.
Right. Yes.
So what is the meeting point for diversities of the nations? Counselor.
Yeah. So that would be the load.
That is the meeting point.
Right. Well, just let me know if I'm seeing this electrically. I know you're telling me what it is.
Yes,
it's
exactly.
for conceptual purpose that I want to know. So you said the meaning of the positive and negative would be where work could be done, and that's a load, like
energy.
A motor, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're saying.
Yes.
The constitutional core is the rotor and stator.
So you got movement.
Exactly.
A Moorish divine national movement. meant.
Islam.
All right? Now, so we're operating on principles, not on emotions.
Yes.
Although you can feel, so we must be focused.
Yes.
We have not been meeting.
Islam.
Now, because of other agreements that were made while we were asleep, although meetings were made earlier, but they acknowledged Eisenhower.
Okay.
So he made some agreements with some negative sides. Although they had positives and negatives. All right? They're looking for an extension of mandate. That's essentially what Eisenhower did. You know, just talking beyond what they're saying.
This is in the 50s.
Yes, 50.
But whose
54.
authority can you give
54 is what?
mandate?
9.
Oh, so 54. Now he's under pressure.
By whose authority can you give a mandate?
They're operating on unum sanctum.
Right, okay,
You gotta remember.
I got it.
See, we got.
Yeah,
I got that. I thought you said something else.
They're operating on unum sanctum.
Always.
Romans are that's their delegation of authority. Though colored, that is their delegated authority.
All right.
And collectively, with unum sanctum, dum diversas, Romanus Pontifex, Inter Caetera Divina, Sister QV Act of 1666, 666, they collectively, although it's a separate bulla, collect them all as the doctrine of discovery to claim the estates of the peoples of the planet.
Just like the Constitution.
And therefore, Thessalonians 1 and 2, they have put themselves on the throne of God, claiming to be God. So white
means purity.
Purity means God. God is the ruler of the land. So this is why they traded places with you. And the Knights of Columbus Ku Klux Klan oath in 1854. 1854.
Years prior.
Yes, with the Whiggamore Party, Horace Greeley, Mummers Parade, took on the title of white.
That's right.
In 1854. So what occurs if they can convince the heirs to call them white man? You have given them your birthright in the governmental plane of the aggregate of the third dimension. And then when he acts it, then we want to get mad when we just assigned him. So Girardi said what? Be yourself, stop trying to be somebody else. Chapter 48 says what?
We're returning their religion to them, you know.
And what's he saying? He's saying in a modest way, but what is he saying? You're dumping the dogma. Go ahead.
7, chapter 48, verse 7. Therefore, we are returning the church and
therefore, and that means now that we have absorbed what the chapters that have come before that chapter, that's what the therefore is for.
Yes. Right.
That means so on as we move forward from what we have just stood on.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes. We are returning the church and Christianity back to the European nations as it was prepared by their forefathers for their earthly third dimensional salvation. So they're trying to claim the earth. Whereas 8 says...
But it's your estate. Go ahead.
Where 8 says, while we, the Moorish Americans, are returning to Islam, which was founded by our forefathers for our earthly and divine.
So now, we're dealing with dual, they're dealing with singularity.
Right.
They're aggregate and limited.
Yes, they are.
All right, now, kid, you're not denying them because you made a treaty with them.
Okay.
However, they breached and you breached. Don't look at it one way.
Yes.
So we must do what? Restore that which was lost.
Yes.
Yes.
Divine constitutional bylaws says, help me in my great missionary work. Right?
Yes.
To bring my people back into the constitutional fold of government, enforcing our constitution. That would be in your literature book. In your literature.
You say divine constitution and bylaws?
That would be divine warning by the prophets for the nations.
I got the literature and the administration.
Question for clarity, Grand Sheik.
Yeah, go ahead.
Your grace technically, well, forget technically,
Let me-
did we breach fundamentally by putting ourselves, by owning slavery?
This is what we did. They'll tell you right in your Quran, by disobedience,
Yes, we lost our slavery.
every nation has suffered slavery. But how do we give up our birthright? Gratifying Allah. He tell you just what you did.
Yes,
Find out what's up.
Yeah.
Who was the first slave?
Slavics.
It's a nationality, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
But then we started accepting connotative linguistics, making it mean something it don't mean, does it?
Yes.
Yes.
Then we started this ebonic shit that we started recently.
Yes.
But I mean, this still, even though it's contemporary, it's a reflection of what we laid down before and got buried in the bullshit.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
That was supposed to be from 1 to 4. You know, it says all meetings are to begin to be opened and closed promptly according to the Circle 7 in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. I said 1 through 4. Oh, did I say 1 to 5? All right, well 1 to 5. But I'm only saying this in that this cannot stop right here. I divined in my head that 2 weeks from now, we should be, you know, putting stuff, you know, where we
Coalescing.
Yes.
Now,
Agreed.
before you all just came in, you know, I was talking to Slaymore. And because of distance, you know, because he's traveling and doing some stuff too.
Right.
And we talked. He wanted to share with us work that they're doing. And Sharon is doing some work which she's going to get back to me this week. So a lot of work is going on, you know, it's just that we're in different spaces. And so it ain't like, you know, because if they was here, they would be making a report. And they're making a lot of progress. So know that for surety. But the deal of it is that we come together as we're doing now, taking responsibility. It will simply fall in place. It is simply the will that we come together to do that which is right.
Great meeting is on.
To do well, to do good. Really, that's really what we need to do. Now, the issue is that understanding fundamental issues of the Court of Lions. So we're coming together and we bring together a common direction, not because we want to say, oh, let's do this because it's common. Right. What is logical will become obvious. And then we do consensus, even if we do an ad hoc operation. And when we start communicating with the Romans, we come from our Court of Lions.
Islam.
Not as the single unit energies.
Come as a pride.
Because the unity is the nation, though you may sometimes make the single unit projection misrepresented as individuality, if you understand. And we have been failing to do that, and therefore we've been going out there as islands trying to argue with Rome, and then Rome kicks the can down the road.
Right, kicks the can down the road.
And then we keep looking for new methods when the real simply, we're looking for others to acknowledge or to set up what we are responsible to do. So, we're the superior party.
Yes.
We fell. Eisenhower, the German Dutchman, shut down Consular Court because it's not to their advantage to have that platform.
Correct.
It's to their advantage to create something under their corporate oligarchy structure, but they needed for us to agree to seek remedy in that platform on promise. Although it could never happen on that platform, because the platform, the U.S. democracy was set forth to institute feudal law, which is the exact opposite of allodial law. No different than Woodrow Wilson converted the Aboriginal titles and allodial titles into mortgages and deeds in 1913. None of these things are unrelated. except that most of our people can't see in layers, so they see that as time passed and having nothing to do with us when all of these things are absolutely connected.
Yes.
For presence. And so we have to learn to think differently. In other words, dogma was designed to make us one-dimensional in thought pattern, or what is called tunnel vision, and accept that as truth, when truth is multifaceted and it's in layers. It's in planes.
Yes.
So you must learn, and this is the lessons of Yahshua, or lessons of Jesus, learn to cross the planes without necessarily giving up the body.
What's wrong?
Boy.
Do you understand? And so really this is what the lessons are. But we don't trust ourselves because of the dogma that we accepted as religion, which actually put you to sleep. And so we put our trust in it, and so therefore we shut down our pineal gland. They didn't do it, but we accused them of doing it. No, all they did was deceive us. We bought it and fell.
But like he says, if you must look for your heaven, you must look.
It is within.
If you must look for your devil,
It is within.
You must look within.
All right, so now that you see it, now that you know it, humble yourself.
That's right.
And come to the payload, come to the center. So now when you look at in your literature, take religious controversy, I'm going to yield the floor. And I want you to read religious controversy in literature book. Your literature.
I thought I brought it over here.
Moorish literature. You just had it.
Oh, it's right here.
Yeah. Religious controversy. Read the whole thing and then analyze it and then see what you see.
Religious controversy. It's on page
I'm going to
5.
stand under this light while you read that. Not to the left, not to the back, but directly under it. Go ahead, read.
Page.
All right. Looking at 5.
Get in the mic.
For this one. Page 5 for Moorish literature. Moorish Science, Temple of America, Incorporated. This one says, I guess, but, you know. Anyway. Religious controversy. In this age, there is still much religious controversy as to the right thing. Big and powerful ministers have come to the conclusion that something is wrong. Some say it is the Ten Commandments. Others say there is a lack of sincerity in the purpose of the churches. Still, others think it is all worthless and not fit for the time it takes to attend them. However, whatever their final decision might be, it is certain they will make a change, or rather try to make one. Will make a change, or rather try to make one. The fact of the matter is that they have always had only a reflection of the truth and not the real thing. Like one who holds up to the sun a mirror and casts a few of its diverted rays in a different direction, so have they done with the truth that is supposed to have come from the east. There are but few people who know what the truth is about man, and that few know that it is foolish to try to impart it to the ignorant. That's in the Kabbalion too. Although the ignorant has finished college, he is a fool right on, being trained to jump through a hoop. The longer he stays in the schools, the better he can jump. And the more vivid will he defend his jumping. From the east comes all light, but though the sun is hanging at high noon, the blind cannot see. I'll read that again. From the east comes all light, but though the sun is hanging at high noon, the blind cannot see. The same is the Islamic creed from the east. The same is the Islamic creed from the East was brought to the Asiatics of America by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali and offered to those who were sick at heart, tried for many years, yet they are blind and cannot see the light. Nor is the prophet trying to put new wine into old wine skins, for he knows that it will burst them. Still, he has the only remedy for the nations. The remedy brought by Jesus, Muhammad, Confucius, and all other prophets, which remedy is truth. The nations do not want the truth. It is too stern.
What is truth?
The nations do not want the truth. It is too stern. But until they accept it and find out where it is, there will continue to be religious controversy. That's it. Next to Savior of humanity. That's next to Savior of humanity.
That's it.
That's it. The religious controversy. You just read it. Completed it.
That is it. And it was, it's schism.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's schism. Now, so, this is back to the unity, right?
Yes.
I.e., until they understand or are willing to accept the deal with the truth, shed the BS door, the schism continues, which favors Rome. They give up their birthright. So it's presented as religion, but what he's really talking about is the dogma.
Yes.
But he says it in a way that it won't be rejected. So he tells you that the half has not been told.
Yes.
You know, so when you do the research, you'll see it for yourself. Starting with the fact that what? These people who claim to be Christians are really Constantinians. Christianity, they're using as a front for the people's trust. And then when they accept them, they deceive them. Who is the father of Christianity? Constantine. Who do the preachers lie and say is? They say Jesus is. And so they're going to and fro the earth, devouring nations. Our people keep helping them. And then don't want the reward that comes with it.
May I? Because you just brought up something that does make the point. They go to and fro the earth, seeking whom they
may devour.
May devour.
Yes.
So if you allow yourself to be devoured, you will be.
Yet they're seeking. But doesn't it say in that scripture that?
And then when it looks in the book, it says, "Don't go to bed with the harlot." What is the bed? It says, "Befriend, embrace, and devour."
Yes.
Has he done anything other than that?
Nothing else.
No.
All right. So he goes in people's houses around the world.
Okay.
And then tells them they're going to do friendly stuff for them and help them out and shit.
Yes.
And next thing you got is war. Brothers fighting brothers, sisters fighting sisters, family broken up, children getting kidnapped, becoming Burger King, and a whole bunch of other stuff. And he's never changed the pattern.
Not once.
He's not who is said to be, too. When it says in that scripture, like a roaring lion, it doesn't say is a roaring lion.
Right, like,
it says
unto.
like.
Like unto.
So he's fraud from before he even approaches. It's fraud.
So he's called the great deceiver, isn't he?
Yes.
And he said the number is the number of a man.
Yes.
He said his number is 666.
Yes.
Isn't that in the book?
Yes.
Yes.
Don't he be telling you some mystical monster over here, like Beagle Fetcher?
Yes.
They run you away from it.
What's the book say?
666, man.
Numbers of man, right? Questionary.
6 carbons, 6 electrons, 6 neutrons. Wait a minute.
What are they sometimes called?
6 carbons.
What are demons?
No.
Sorry,
Lower
what
self.
question?
Go ahead, no.
What is the devil sometimes called?
Sons and daughters. Sons and daughters are Adam and
Of
Eve.
Adam and Eve. They
Are
are, hold on, time out.
Sometimes they sometimes called.
Lucifer, Satan, dragon, devil, and beast.
Right.
Yes.
Oh, this is, okay, yes.
All
See, I was
right.
wrong.
So now,
See?
so it's the number of a man, right?
Yes.
So stop looking into the netherworld and pay attention to what's in front of you. Meaning get rid of the mysticism
Right there.
and start paying attention to what's in front of you.
Man, hold up. Let me.
And then we keep acting surprised when he does what he does when he has never done anything other than what he does.
Yes.
Dug raw. You know, so a colonist in a political realm is essentially a leech in the biological realm.
Yes.
So what did we expect other than the bloodsucker?
Hey.
So don't he do the ritual
Yes.
and say, well, you know, this is the body of Jesus,
Uh-huh.
let us feast,
Yes.
and this is his blood, let us drink.
Yep.
And we said, oh, that's just so holy, man.
That's the whole thing. That's all.
That's what he got ready for you. And then Jesus said, look, I came amongst my own, they didn't want to hear it. They received me not. Well, who is he? He's the grandson of Ruth the Moabitess. So he's Moabite too. They don't want to be Moors. They want to be Romans. Now they got Roman names. They got his mark, licenses, his number, license. They can't buy or sell without the mark or the number of his name. They can't even breathe without a license. They ain't figured this stuff out yet. But they claim to know that book. The point is, like the prophet said, don't get rid of that Bible,
Yeah.
your Bibles, because I'm going to use it to condemn this government.
That's what woke me up, the book,
Yeah,
Jeremiah chapter 5.
yes,
It condemned, the priesthood.
yeah. And it's not that it's not there. It's people act like they don't see it.
No, people don't know how to read.
They do that. You got.
The grand chiefs know how to read. The priests and reverends know how to read.
They say the ones that can't won't read.
No,
and the
remember,
ones
The
that can't
minions
home.
don't know how to read.
The masses
Yeah, the
are
masses.
trained to just believe.
Right. Right. That's right. That's right.
And then where the rationale comes in, the reasoning mind, the priesthood tells them, do not use your reasoning mind.
Right.
It's only Jesus. Don't question.
That's right. That's right.
I'm eating the peanut butter sandwich. They're not really your peanut butter sandwiches. They're the Lord's.
Right.
You know, when you over there,
Starving. He in
you know, you
the
got ribs, they say you got six-pack because you're hungry. Ain't because you didn't lift your weights. They say ribs, ain't six-pack, say ribs.
That's right.
And we don't get it. You know, we build temples and houses and have no place to lay our head.
Yeah.
Talk about gentrification. Do we not yet understand this thing?
We have enough fiat in the church. The
Isn't it misdirected?
It is.
And who gets it? Rev. Yeah, but I get it. He told you it was Jesus that Jesus ain't got no bank account at Chase Manhattan. Well, I didn't know that. Stop acting like you don't know that.
That's right. That's right.
If that were the case, if one scripture in particular
Wait to get home.
could stop all that if we paid attention to
Yes.
it, which it says they attribute to the Lord, the earth is mine and the fullness
Fullness thereof.
The cattle on 1,000, like it basically talks about I as God own everything. So if God owns everything, why do we have to give God anything when it comes to the...
Yeah, but why is it that some other man told you that? Why didn't the God tell you that?
Right.
There's always some God said, I got his personal cell phone number. It's the iPhone 11. Damn! I'm calling right now. Damn! Our personal relationship. Give me $5. You got 10. Come on. And he's down in Bahamas with Susie, the sister sings with the choir. But Jesus is there every year.
And they ain't killed on yet.
And let's be honest.
Yes.
With all this wealth,
Yes.
let's look at this, and this is reality. How many of you were where, I think it was roughly 20 years ago, somewhere in that era, you remember when the so-called black preachers in Philadelphia area were complaining about misappropriation of finances, and they were suing.
Oh yeah, with the Chinese.
They owned their churches, and they found out that the Baptist Europeans in the South owned all their shit. Huh? And they thought it was Jesus and all this kind of stuff.
Right.
You know, they got all these trying to get these mega churches, and they in all kinds of debt.
But they find out it's part of the joint stock trust, though, at that point, right?
Yeah, the point of it is, you know, their naivety to even think that is the issue, really. You know, how could adults be so naive to actually believe that they're in mortgage hock up to their somebody else's neck, a giraffe neck, that they can't possibly reach, and all these funds are going down to this Southern Baptist Convention, and they discover all of these different Protestant churches that they think is separate all belong to these Europeans down south?
Yes.
And then their suit was thrown the hell out.
Because they're not in the...
Because they're their own shit and their concepts are wrong.
Right.
Grow up.
Right.
You know, there was one little issue till they started arguing the finance, trying to follow. You don't even supposed to follow the finance. You should know that. You're going to try digging in Jesus' account. No, you know, you're supposed to pay your tithing, Roman tax, and don't question. See, but this is the point that boils down to. They had to accept, although it wasn't accepted, that their position was naive by choice.
Yes.
Don't get angry. It's a business.
Yeah.
Get over yourself. And you ain't getting that finance, it ain't your shit. Donation is a gift.
The donors.
Thank you.
Right.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
God knows my intention. That's what they say.
Yeah, that's what they say.
A question 64.
That's to throw you
The
off.
answer was what are the names of God? Sorry, number 64. It is.
That's how you know that you can tell.
Give 5 names that are given to the descendants of Adam and Eve. So Adam, we know that, you know, we put away with childish things. We're dealing with ATOM instead of the anthropomorphic ADAM
Right.
in the form of a man.
Right.
Eve is the evolution or the evolving of that Adam pertaining to it. So when it says answer, and I just want to, you know, correct me if I'm wrong.
Keep on going.
Lucifer. So I wrote Venus next to that. Light bearer.
And it is right, exactly.
Okay, so then, because I'm about to compare this with what C.M. Bey did in Circle of Life in the opening of the cover. It says Lucifer, so I put Venus for the light bearer. For Satan, I put Saturn.
Yep, Saturn.
Because it is.
Okay. For devil, I actually put lived backwards.
That's what it is.
For dragon, I put Kundalini.
Yes.
And for beast, I put man.
Yes.
Right? So when the next question 65 says, what is the devil sometimes called? And it says the lower self. So now that 64 and 65, all this encompasses lower self. C.M. Bey says in the Circle of Life, C.M. Bey, PhD, LLD, 3rd, 33rd, 360 degree, Master Mason, Free Moorish Master Astrologer, Moorish Constitution Lawgiver, Isonomy. He says on this inside cover, pardon me, I know y'all see the covers falling off my books, but that's how much I wear them down. All right. Bear in mind that the influence of the planets does not affect us when we possess the knowledge of them before they form their bad aspects to each other in our universe. Because we understand, that means uphold, their forces which govern the law of cause and effect. That's the 4th Amendment principle. Cause and effect. What's that 5 actually? Pardon me. Which enables us to adjust ourselves to withstand, that's constitute, withstand, and to be guided by reasoning while under the influences of conjunctions, squares, and oppositions of the planets. When we are controlling the influence, of the universe which exists in our lower nature.
Yes. Yes.
Which exists in our lower nature. When we do not understand, when we do not uphold this whole sentence, because it's only 2 sentences, it's like 2 paragraphs.
Right.
But it's only 2 sentences.
Right.
It says, when we do not understand the evil influence of our, one word, universe, then we resort to the lower things of life which result in untold sufferings and destruction. So when we know the astrology and cosmology, we come to consular court, we're studying our civics, and we're doing all of that, it's keeping us out of being the manifestation.
Now listen to yourself.
Yeah.
Listen to yourself.
Okay?
Think this. Fundamental rule of order, rudder and sextant.
Okay?
Rudder and sextant.
I don't have a copy, but go ahead.
Rudder and sextant.
Yes.
Listen. Compass and a square,
Yes.
navigation,
Yes.
Zodiac.
self-consciousness, knowing self,
Is they're all wheels, is what he's saying.
and thus consciously navigating the energies of the stars, sextant,
Yes.
horizon,
Uh-huh.
stars,
Yes.
position,
Yes.
all right? Your co-creators take responsibility.
Okay.
They can, so therefore, Satan or Lucifer or the devil only has jurisdiction because you give it to him. So consider your affairs and navigate accordingly.
Okay, hold it.
He just said consider, which is astrology. But
Right,
it's
I got
your
it. I got
affairs.
it. I got it. But all you're saying is, read your chart. Read your chart.
Yes.
See if it's wise. Just stay with me to take a meeting on this day.
Yeah, watch this while we had it today.
Which is why, as opposed to taking it on this day.
Right.
Yeah.
Read
Yeah.
your chart and determine if this is a good time for you to study or not, or to rest, or to fight, or whatever.
Now you're
So-
taking
and-
it.
And live your life accordingly.
Now, so there's a time for everything, a season. And got your gates,
That's right.
4 seasons.
Okay.
Book of about 21. You want to say about chapter 21? 3 in the north, 3 in the south, 3 in the east. There's your zodiac, constitution, right in the book.
Hold on, which book would you call
Bible.
21?
Bible.
He's
Which
in the
21?
book of the sun.
So actually, in short, we all should be self-Saharahas, right?
Yeah.
That's what a Saharaha
I'm
does,
trying to
that
think.
takes
If
on
you
that
guys
position,
look
so.
at Bible Gateway on your phone, it works like a concordance in the search. You know what I mean?
I think-
So whatever you look up.
And then chapter 21, 22 in Revelation, I think, we'll look at read it.
So actually, in essence, everyone should be each their own Sahara.
Meaning that, yeah, you are it.
Right, right.
It ain't a place to go.
Right, it's that you shouldn't refer to one, you are.
What
that.
he's really showing you,
Everybody
he's
should know how to read that.
Exactly.
reintroducing you to your power that has been latent, that you have given up,
Yeah.
that you have abandoned, and therefore feel abandoned and forlorn when you don't need to, and you're seeking salvation from an outer world when it's in the inner world of yourself. So you're asking the God, the goddess who's given you arms and legs, keisters of your own, to lift a fork for you for the meal that she's given you.
Say that quote again, though, please.
Right.
Would you quote it? Because I'm at 21 and 22, but say the quote again.
Just read it out. You should see it in context.
Okay, you just want me to start from 21? The New Jerusalem?
Yeah.
Okay, chapter 21, Revelation chapter 21. Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth had passed away, and there was no longer any sea, S-E-A. I saw the holy city, the New Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God. This is the New International Version, by the way. Coming out of heaven from God. That's the call upon. Prepared as a bride, beautifully dressed for her husband. And I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, quote, now the dwelling of God is with men, and he will live with them. They will be his people, and God himself will be with them and be their God. He will wipe every tear from their eye. There will be no more death or mourning, or crying or pain, for the old order of things has passed away. End quote. That's priesthood is there right there too.
Keep on reading.
Verse 5. He who has seated on the throne said, quote, I am making everything new. End quote. Then he said, quote, write this down, for these words are trustworthy and true. End quote. He said to me, quote, it is done. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. To him who is thirsty, I will be to drink without cost from spring of the water of life. From the spring of the water of life. He who overcomes will inherit all this, and I will be his God, call upon, and he will be my son. But the cowardly, the unbelieving, the vile, the murderers, the sexually immoral, those who practice magic arts, the idolaters, and all liars, their place will be in the fiery lake of burning sulfur. Wow, sulfur, that's alchemy there.
Yeah.
Sulfur, mercury, and is it antimony? Antimony? Is that what it is?
I don't know.
All right. One of the 7 angels who had the 7 bowls full of the 7 last plagues came and said to me, quote, come, I will show you the bride, the wife of the Lamb. Whoa, hold up. Hold up.
Finish the thought.
Yeah, I just
Show you
saw
the
it.
bride, the wife of the...
Yes. No, something just happened. One of the 7 angels, okay, that's Elohim, who had the 7 bowls full of the 7 last plagues came to, so that's the zodiac. That's like someone going to the ephemeris and seeing something about to happen, but it's being quoted as, quote, come, I will show you the bride of, no, show you the bride, the wife of the Lamb. So the Lamb is Aries. Would the wife then, in that sense, be its 180 opposition? So we're talking about Libra at that point?
Because that's Venus. Venus rules Libra, right?
Do you see what I'm, look, okay, so watch. I'm gonna say it again. That's what I'm saying, like, I don't know, I'm gonna still read, but something just in my head. It says, one of the 7 angels. That's Sun to Saturn.
Yeah.
Sun to Saturn, right? Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, right?
Yes.
So it says 7 angles or angels,
So look at them.
right? So now I'm thinking Zodiac, who had 7 bowls. Okay, you just played a bowl, right? That resonated or vibrated with certain energy when it was
Circumnavigation.
Yeah, circumnavigated, circumambulated for, because I'm trying to think of
Circumambulation.
yes, because you walked around it, yeah, with your hands. So it could create a vibration. All right.
Symbolized by the circumambulation ritual done in the Holy City of
Kaaba.
Mecca around the stone.
Yes. The Kaaba. Then it says, full of the 7 last plagues.
Keep on going.
Which means the downside of those energies, if you're not in line with the universe. If you're dealing with religious controversy,
You can also look at-
it's plagues that come with that.
You can also look at
Sickness.
representatives of the council,
Okay?
galactic,
Yes.
of the 7 lords, of the 7 orbs, coming here to clean this shit up.
Yes.
It's Green Lantern, bro.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Keep going.
It's like Green Lantern.
Come, I will show you the bride, the wife of the Lamb. He carried me away in the spirit to a mountain, great and high, and showed me the holy city, Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God. It shone, yes.
You know what I see in that? That was being taken up just like Jeremiah in what they would say a spaceship
Okay.
Seeing, you know, what is it? And then seeing what we call the mothership. Like,
Yes.
like a mothership, which would be the holy city coming down. That's the way I interpret that.
Islam.
Now that I see that differently.
Islam.
Yeah, I don't see an earth falling down, but I see a ship that seems like it encompasses, you know, the earth, and that's that mothership. You know, because a lot of times you have Ezekiel rather was taken up in a spacecraft, and if you had listened to this guy again, Dr. Short, he'll tell you how they put down the silver ramp,
Okay.
and how they invited him up aboard the ship, and how the eyes that went around with the lights and all that stuff. He talks about that too. So you see the whole thing in an what we would call an extraterrestrial light. And the chariots of fire were just the smoke that was like a pillar of fire by day and a pillar of fire. That didn't say that in the Dead Sea Scrolls. It actually says a craft that had, you know, light shooting out of it. So those lights and heat was what created the light of light of night and the smoke, you know, the smoke and the fire, if you will.
Yes.
So a lot of that was like the extraterrestrial, and I'm calling it extraterrestrial because that's what we know them as.
Right.
Those beings, those crafts coming down. So even in the book of Revelation, John is being taken up by these beings and shown some things. And he's also saying, he's seeing now, but he's also seeing futuristic things.
And it's all, and terra works. And terra, terrestrials, us, extraterrestrial out there.
Well, I think we're extraterrestrial too, in origin. We were
That's fair.
preceded here,
That's
but
fair,
we
but
forgot.
we live on the planet.
Here's the
Right,
point.
we forgot.
We domicile, we live in our skin. We domicile on the planet.
The assumption is anything that they don't know is extraterrestrial, when half of that stuff is terrestrial.
I'm gonna keep going, but you just said something too.
And call your verse.
And oh yeah, I'm right here on 10, chapter 21, verse 10. But you had said two things. After you had said being brought up, being taken up, and Brother Taj, you had just mentioned something about being able to transition without giving up the body.
Meaning that
Go ahead.
Rome and the dark priesthood have convinced our people through dogmatic schismata and dogmata that the physical dimensional form must be totally given up in order to ascend unto heaven. This is to give you fear of traveling outside of the fence that they built for you imaginarily.
Woo. Yes.
That's Corinthians, the terror, the body, the second, the third and fourth heaven. When we change, that's right, when we change.
So you're imprisoned. You're on the self-imposed quarantine that you've accepted, not necessarily that has the power just to hold you. When you become conscious of the light, go to light, you can transfer the veil without necessarily giving it the body. Time travel, which is also space travel.
Yes.
And when we talk in space, we talk in placement, not so much when you think, say, in the concept geographically, from astronomical as opposed to astrological.
Yes.
So we think in placement, map placement of the planets when you actually dimensionally you just simply fold the universe and walk over.
Old time and space.
Yes, because it's a fabric.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is what that new movie Wrinkle in Time.
Right. Fabric.
That Wrinkle in Time thing is about fold.
Inception.
Yeah, but the most recent thing is that Oprah Winfrey thing, a Wrinkle in Time, because they took they folded time, and you know it was like this, and they were able to, I guess, make it come like this and bring it together. And that's how but so it's coming out more and more.
Yeah.
They've done it years and years ago.
Yeah, that was that movie Inception. Yeah.
I mean, when you become cognizant of it, you can do it. Watch it. Man is mine.
Yes.
All right,
And a thought
just
of all
point of order.
It's
Point
not.
of order, because we gotta catch the 6:40 train back to domicile.
No, just let me know where y'all want me at, because I'm answering everything. It's just you guys are making me go.
And you doing that for me, brother.
All right, do that.
But the whole council court,
Take the law.
fundamentally,
Yes.
we wanna be in a place where we can, when we restore this, when we do it. I don't, when we're not waiting for somebody to say it's okay to do, but we're in a place to walk in the shoes and handle the responsibility of the council court.
And you gotta do it now.
Yes.
It's not tomorrow,
Yes.
it's
Right.
now. Because
Like yesterday.
I just gotta give you these, if you look up notable resignations, spreadsheet.
We were all on that.
Yeah, what-
They all fall, they all
It's all-
slip.
the dust is all around us, you know? And we're saying,
Harmonica, what you're saying, Sister David.
all right,
Robert Noble Jolly said what? Take your places
Amongst
amongst
the
the affairs of men.
He
That's why you
did.
have what? National Association of Moorish Affairs.
yes,
Platform. Brother and Sexton. Bylaws. Activation of the Brother and Sexton.
right,
So, even if you're doing ad hoc,
yes.
you must have the people be cognizant of ethical principles
Yes,
and maxims, the phenomena of hermetic law. These are fundamental maxims. So everything dealing with maxims must become a part of our thinking.
part of every part,
Capacity to jurisconsult must become a part of our thinking.
yes.
And you just take the rudder and sextant, and even if you do exercises ad hoc, even flip around, having people take positions.
Yes,
You start doing exercises like we used to do years ago, remember? We do representations or what's called
Mock court.
mock courts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You learn the 7 points of jurisdiction,
yes,
conditions
yes.
of challenge to jurisdiction.
10 maxims of law.
Yes, yes. In personam jurisdiction, subject matter jurisdiction, territorial jurisdiction.
It's in the document, it's in the document.
Yeah, but
that we-
can I not to cut your wisdom, but to add to your wisdom,
Right,
what I'm realizing is that the bridge must be built for the gap.
Yeah.
Because what the gap is everybody's like, oh, I got the drive full of information. Where do I start?
Right.
So since that's happening, what I'm saying is like, for example, when I asked you about workshops a few months back, and you was like, they have to happen.
This is a workshop.
So,
Definitely.
so that means like in this situation, like for example, and this comes from seeing many videos of you going over the situation, but for example, the reason why we're even dealing with this meeting here is because we're being accosted by those who are foreigners at our home that are saying, hey, you don't have the front headlight working on my vehicle. So that's why when I asked Brother Troy earlier, because what we're really talking about now is not saying the alphabet when we're dealing with them, like you said, because it makes us appear naive. But grasping the concept and how we respond.
Right.
It's just like martial arts for those that are martial
Right,
artists.
right.
It's like you're not going to think, hold on. He
How to
punched me.
parry.
Right.
He punched me.
Right.
You're supposed to do this.
Right.
And blah, like,
Right.
you're not going to do that. You already kind of have the way you just.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You
Right.
already.
And it's a process that
goes
gets me from there to there.
So that's
Right.
that's why I asked when some highwaymen run you off the road in lieu of consular court, because this is how we'll know how to approach.
Right.
From what I've gotten from a video with you, Brother Taj,
Right.
okay? Where when these people approach you and run you off the road, now granted, yes, the first thing we should do is call 911. Conceptually, the reason why,
Yeah,
in
I remember
that
you said something
situation-
like that before. Yeah.
conceptually why, I'm not
Right.
saying this is the only way or the
Right.
strategy, but
Right.
in lieu of consular court, in lieu of consular court, you're calling 911 because you have the right to make a record and keep a record, and you have the right to be safe and secure on your person's houses, papers, and effects. So your
Right.
Bill of Right 1 and 4
Right.
immediately go into action.
Right.
When highwaymen
Right.
are turning on what they are
Emergency.
emergency lights.
Right.
So we're going to call the emergency number.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're really great Moorish Americans. We want
Yeah.
to help our servants.
Protocol.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I
So
agree.
in doing that, when hello 911, how may I help you? Yes, I'm Brother Hasan Ghazi Obey here in Morocco. Actually, there's someone behind me with a multi-lit vehicle, right? And actually, they're approaching. Hold on, I think they got guns too. And like, knock, license plate registration, blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna roll my window down. Like, hey, beloved, how are you? How may I help you? License and registration. Like,
What's the emergency?
what's the emergency, beloved? You got your emergency lights on. You know, I'm just wondering now. Granted, the whole time I'm not forgetting that I'm on the phone with 911.
Yeah, because it's being recorded.
Transcript.
Exactly.
Protocols.
What's playing chess?
But the
Exactly.
thing is, anything you say will be used against you in a court of law.
Can and will.
Can and will be used against you in a court of law. So you keep the contract to a minimum.
Yes.
And when you're in the service, everybody knows when you're captured, what do you give? Name,
Rank and serial.
rank, and serial number.
Yes.
You know,
On the
Don't give no
911
other
call,
information.
you made a jurisdictional claim. You stated for the record your appellation.
Now, Harmonica, what she said and you said, what are they exercising?
contract.
Their
The
religion.
War Powers Act.
Emergency war power.
Color of law.
Unum sanctum
Yes,
policy.
yes.
It's all color.
Right.
Back up. We're going to go over that too, make sure everybody understands that. The War Powers Act. So they're dealing with ships, confiscation
Right.
of private property
Yes.
under war power, therefore there's a military action.
Yes.
So when the private security guards for the corporate operatives or gangs in New York stop you, they're doing a military action. Therefore, name, number,
Rank and serial number.
name, rank,
Because
right.
we're under
You're being
military
captured. You're being
occupation.
captured right then and there.
Exactly.
Right.
But, well, can I say this though? For those that know.
This is why the enforcement of the treaty is so important, because we're under military
There you go.
occupation.
That's exactly
Thank
what,
you.
and we're all flying our
Right,
standard.
right.
So
Why
that
it's
not
important
just
for
to
that.
say we're not ships, but in flying the standard, you're actually saying you have no jurisdiction over this.
Yeah.
See what they're doing, War Act, power, Trading with the Enemy Act, and War Powers, all right? Their position with the corporate states and the municipalities is to confiscate your ship,
Yes.
or they're boarding your ship in admiralty law.
Pirates.
It's the fact, that is the fact of what their position is. We're not talking about what the morality or the ethical position should be. That is in fact, not opinion,
Right.
the action that they're taking upon which they're claiming authority to board your ship.
Yes.
In breach of Constitution, which is land jurisdiction.
Yes. Yes.
Knowing that, what you said is true. So once you understand what you're dealing with, the protocols become obvious. This is why we tell people to study. And a lot of questions that they ask would be answered if they would study. But it has to become theirs. It can't, if you say it to them, it doesn't mean anything until they become a part of it.
Islam.
Islam.
Every part of every part. You know?
Islam.
It's not a cookie on the shelf. You give you this cookie.
So protocol, I got your wisdom at the edge, I know I got to catch the 640 train. Protocol would be us intellectually, for speaking
Thinking.
in terms of dojo, intellectually sparring in a sense where we know response. Whereas,
Right.
like when I asked Brother Troy, you know, what's your name? What, you know, what do you have a license and stuff like that? And like Mother Delilah said, sometimes we may say too much. Well, my appellation is.
Right.
Now, granted, in that situation,
You contract.
it's face to face. You would say, hey, where's the search for the one?
Right,
Search
right.
for my mind.
The
Don't-
delegation
this is
authority
the
on
point.
probable cause.
In your territories, in DAC, all right, a couple years ago, you know, at your house, principals, we open closing meetings,
Yes.
section, rubber,
Yes.
rubber section, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
Look at this. And this is also a report to be made to you. Within the last few months since Shirley Moore and her sister and them became active and been activating, they successfully extracted 4 people.
5 now.
5.
Now it's
It's
only
long.
5.
It's long.
That was the last one they was working on.
Yeah.
They got 5.
And it's based on the predication of coming from the consular position.
Yes.
You know, Now, so.
Some language, I will admit, must be cleaned up in that extraction. I've seen it, some language, but it does do what it needs to do in its character. You're exactly right, in the nature of it. I will say that. Now, if I'm wrong, I'm willing to be corrected, because when I read it, a few things I was like, you know, it made me do that. But the fact that it is having, it's basically the mufti going down and pulling people out of jurisdiction.
But this is what it is. Now, listen. Noble Drale, Moorish Temple of Science, corporately acting in the corporate venue, Moorish Science Temple of America, to do the corporate business with the corpse. All right. Now, when you have your circle, according to international law and rules of occupation, the Aboriginal people have a right to maintain their customs, etc.
Islam.
Yes.
Yes.
Traditions and customs.
Yes.
Is that not common law?
It is. Yep.
But if they choose not to exercise it, which we have not done, and then have, not that we have, but I'm just saying, I'm talking about our people at large, agreed to the Naturalization Act, they gave up their birthright. They gave up their nationality. And this, you know, will also be identified in the letter to the Charge d'Affaires to the Secretary of State, 1906, that we read sometimes from the treaty book, to give people a concept, not an opinion, but a concept of things that are operatively working. Not being aware of it is problematic in relationship to people who should have been telling us these things. So in the Moorish Science Temple of America, the sheiks and the grand sheiks, i.e. the chairman and the moderator, you just take those positions right on down in the order, are put in power to make law and to enforce law. They have not done it, which is why C.M. Bey did what he did. And then you have a circle of mothers and sons, mothers and sons.
Yes.
And then you have, you know, National Association of Moorish Affairs to exercise those principles. The point that I'm making is, when you come from your circle with orders and declarations with your seal on it to them, you're now holding them to their fiduciary obligations. Not to hold them to their fiduciary obligations is a choice that you make. However, if you choose not to exercise that, they got the call. Meaning, if you don't want to play the deck, this is what basically has been happening. They have a color of law venue for people who insist on being colored people.
That's right. That's right.
No,
he's true. He's true.
They have a color of law venue
can I interject
for people who insist on doing colored things. Although we seek and want du jour things. Now, and with due respect, when we look at different things that have taken place, even with House Joint Resolution 192, the arguments that Lewis McFadden made in 1932, 1934 to sue the barristers and their operations with the oligarchy, with the Federal Reserve, etc. And of course, they poisoned him in New York when he went to visit his daughter. And this on continuing stuff where they keep getting people out of the way. However, if the people collectively move, they have no power. Not unlike, as an example, and I don't want to hold the floor on this, when I said I'm talking to you plurally, look at what that French Muslim school, Malcolm, when he went over with that white and black thing. When the delegates walked out on Ralph Bunche, when he went to the United Nations with that Negro-black argument. Everything is about status. And it's very clear when you start studying these time cycles, or these placement cycles, and you put them together, it's one real message. That these people are not in their proper person, and they keep trying to make proper person arguments. They don't roll. These people keep on trying to claim estates, but they won't render unto Caesar what is Caesar's. They won't give him his name and his religion back. Chapter 48. You know, all of these things. But they want the benefit. All right. Traditions and customs. When you look into color of law in the law book, right? Can you? I think you can open your book now. Can you go into common law real quick?
Before you, just to add to what you were saying, just to interject a little bit, because what you're saying is so right, is that we have to collectively, it's coming down to status, the order of the day.
Yes.
All across the planet. So much that that praetor, who's the praetor of Rome,
Yeah.
is sitting in the Grand Vizier's position called Trump,
Mhm.
signed another order, because you know he's signing things left and right for that corporate now. If you caught in that status, that's why the prophet says you don't do anything else, declare your nationality. Modern Europeans are expatriating. If you're caught in that status of what you, with this, Negro, black, and color, it's called dissidence with an I, dissident. So that means you're going against their so-called government. So if you're under that jurisdiction and you're going against that jurisdiction, you come under military provision. Because we're under military occupation,
Yes.
that under the order 103011, the criminal provisions, court-martial United States, effective, implemented, March the 22nd, goes into effect January the 1st of 2019, where they're going to be running everything. There's not going to be no more municipal tribunals. Everything is military tribunals.
Exactly.
Military, because we're under military. They're just coming forth with it. This is all, like you say, Brother Taj, it's all, they've been forced to tell us the truth. Right. Always was doing it, but now it's coming out.
Wasting time to disguise it anymore.
Right. They can't disguise it anymore.
Now,
so it's
this is back
important.
to- And then look what you just identified. Now, and this is where we have to be honest. And not necessarily be angry, just be honest and start working to clear this up.
Right.
Now you see where the Grand Sheiks
Oh,
and
yeah.
Grand Governors of the Moorish
Oh, yeah.
Temple
Oh,
of
yeah.
America have breached
Yes.
their trust,
Yes.
the trust of the people,
Big time.
and in violation of chapter 29.
Oh, yes. Big time.
All right. But we also recognize that the sovereignty and the right belongs to the people.
People.
Therefore, it's the duty and responsibility for the people to step up
Islam.
to the constitutional fold.
Islam.
When those who have been charged with the trust have breached it, you don't wait on them, you unseat them. And if you don't unseat them, you're in violation. However, if their color is entrenched,
Right.
you get out from under them. Go find somebody that's doing good
Help them do more.
and help them do more.
Islam.
So if you really, when you study the prophet's work, it's universal in character.
Right. Right.
And it is set forth for active people,
Right.
Yes.
not for
Not for
passive
passive.
people. At the same time, if you look at the overall picture, back to what Hasan was saying to us earlier, the unity is nationality.
Islam.
So when we're looking at nationality, we must understand its unity of status in relationship to our estate. And these things must be primal to our focused cause.
Right.
So that when we're looking at anything, that we always recognize that when they're doing anything colored, it's attacking somewhere on your estate.
Yes.
And they're already in breach of trust.
Right.
Yes.
So these things are primal to all of our activities.
That's right.
Now, point. Just like, for instance, we came together today in Majlis. We could do a consensus about any issue, just like you hear in it, because this is basically all it is.
Right.
If there's an issue before you,
Yes.
then we read this, you read the issue of the Moorish American, and you read the issue in relationship to the corporate state operators, and you just come to a consensus, issue an order, we come to a consensus here, we seal it, and we send it out from the office.
Islam.
Yes.
It's really that simple.
Yes.
It's really just consensus of thought,
Yes. Yes.
based on maxims. So I'm just saying to you, consular court is not complex.
The issue between each other or the issue dealing with them?
That's all it is. This is what it is. The issue overall is simply estate and birthright.
Right.
Now let's keep this stuff simple.
Yes.
The Europeans are living off our virtues.
Yes.
We've given them more than what they need.
Yes.
They've just overstepped their bounds. So they have not been denied sustenance.
Right. Right.
We've been generous with them.
We're over generous.
All right. So that's not an argument there.
Right.
I'm desiring to stay focused on why we're here today.
Right.
Okay.
And I'm desiring to not lean into the tendency to make this complex, like we got to do some
Yes.
All right.
complex thing.
Yes.
Okay.
No different than we just had a consensus of this general conversation.
Yes.
If the secretary, which secretary would do, she chooses to write the minutes, and we look at the minutes, and there's an obvious consensus of an issue, any particular issue. Among the issues of what we may do financially, etc., if it's conclusionary, we clean it up. Secretary, assistant secretary does it. We look at it, edit it, stamp it. That's a court order. If there's an issue with a brother or sister operating with the court state that you need to extract, you have all information, and when you have your protocols, they're going to communicate anyway.
Right.
Then you take that, you send a mufti, an assistant down there to those that venue, and you extract them. It is actually that simple, but you do it from your court. You know,
but my point is,
that's basically how it's done.
My point also is that, you know, to muft up, you know, to
Yeah.
muster up, when, you know, we need those muftis, or do we utilize the marshals?
You can't use that. Now hold on. Let's. This is what Rome is doing. Rome is under pressure, and it has more to do, honestly, with the Manchurian Masons and assassins who are countering Rome. It is apparent, for the record, that for the most part, other than operating on the abstract plane, a few of us, for the most of us, we've been tardy in our responsibility to step up to the charge. Which is where the energy of frustration comes with us who understand what we should have been doing, and that we have already been given the information by which to measure what to do, i.e. protocols are apparent. What we have done, not done with it is really what we're talking about indirectly. However, it does not forego our capacity to act.
Right.
All right? If you have in the Court of Lions 3 or more, in accordance with the law, making a judgment, stamping it and sealing it, and sending it out by a representative who takes on the position, a wali, mufti. This is why years ago me and Nature did the book on the muftis. You know, to show people patterns. You know, but all we need to do, we don't need to invent things. We need to step back into the roles that we've abandoned. They're not unknown. What we have, and I don't want to dwell on it, is people putting their egos in front of it, and everybody wants to be a chief type thing. This is basically what it is.
Just humbling yourself and doing the work.
And then you have others who had this information that know that they should have done certain things, including produce literature, who recognize the attention that active Moors are getting around the world.
Yes.
The effect that they're having. And out of envy and jealousy, troll and attack to really take the attention off themselves because they really haven't done their job, if you get the point. And so these are more distractions. But understand that when you stay on point of principles, of maxims, you don't worry about you being wrong. Just don't put your ego in it.
Right.
And remember at all times, chapter 29. Matter of fact, we need to print it out, put it in a frame.
Okay.
You know, print it out beautifully, not just words. Make it dress.
Okay.
Border and all the goody stuff.
Islam.
And that should be in every consular venue. And these are not, I'm relating to you not things to do and not things that were undone. These things have been done for years in Great Seal. But everybody, you know, they take their choice on coming to this consciousness in their time. But I'm only saying that to remove the idea that we need to invent something that's already done.
I want you to practice what you've been discussing, because I know I've been doing it here in my head.
Because it's really common law and common sense are harmonics. See, here's the deal, you already know. That's what I'm saying to you. When I say you, I'm talking plural.
Yes.
There's different aspects of culture that we all need to sharpen ourselves up on and to learn or to relearn. But the fundamentals are really always there.
Yes.
what has happened, we've been out of administrating over our own estate for so long. We're in this psychology that we got to figure stuff out, and then invent. We don't need to invent anything
Right.
at all. We need to study ourselves,
Yes.
you know, and understand that, and this is why I do always say enforce the Constitution, because now another key, Barack H. Obama exposed that the American Constitution comes from Muslim law. So he's telling you it's Moorish law. The Europeans just put another label on it. It's not his invention, it's your invention. Drawley's set the, go in your question, go in your literature. Message to America. No Drawley. And read that out, please.
Moorish leaders' historical message to America.
Speak loudly, please.
Gotcha.
In connection.
Yeah, go ahead.
Moorish leaders' historical message to America in connection with the aims, objects, rules, and regulations of the Moorish Science Temple of America. I deem it proper to submit to you a brief statement of our organization covering its inception, rise, and progress, and of a Mohammedan religion, which I hope will be satisfactory to you and be the means of causing you at all times to adhere to the principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice in your relations with mankind in general. I further, most anxiously, hope this brief statement will help you to more clearly see the duty and wisdom of all times upholding those fundamental principles which are desired for our civilization, for our posterity, such as obedience to law, respect and loyalty to government, tolerance, and unity. We organized as the Moorish Science Temple of America in the year 1925, and were legally incorporated
The
as
Moorish
a...
Temple of Science, not the Moorish Science
Oh,
Temple.
As the
Yeah.
Moorish Temple of
Well,
Science.
pardon me. We organized as the Moorish Temple of Science, pardon me, in the year of 1925, and were legally incorporated as a civic organization under the laws of the state of Illinois on November 29th, 1926. The name Moorish Temple of Science was changed to the Moorish Science Temple of America, May 1928. Pardon me, y'all, my apologies.
Sorry.
In accordance with the legal requirements of the Secretary of the State of Illinois. Right there,
Now,
Brother
look at
Taj,
that.
you just spoke on the Secretary and people coming
Exactly.
together,
Now
right?
look at this. I want you to look at this,
Yes.
and you can see how they deliberately modified the authority on the back of the questionnaire when they said the Moorish Science Temple of America
Yes.
changed its name to the Moorish Science Temple of America.
Right,
Oxymoron,
adopted, yes.
Moorish Holy Temple of Science, unincorporated, adopted
Yes.
the name Moorish Science Temple of America,
Yes.
the corporate, as its corporate name.
Yes, that's what I got on my
Yeah,
back.
but I'm just saying to you,
Yes.
when you see things like that on some of them, you can see where they were tampering with the prophet's literature to modify it to actually throw the people off.
Yes.
Now, understanding that, you can see, and I'm sure that you have heard it here or there, where some of the grand governors of the Moorish Science Temple of America have been known to say publicly that the Moorish Science Temple of America is not a civic organization.
Oh, yeah.
While he didn't teach civics.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
Yeah, you hear him say that.
You hear him say it.
What does that record say?
He,
What?
no.
That record says, the record says very clearly, that's 1925, isn't it?
Yes.
All right, that's not 1913, is it?
Nope.
No. That's
So
what
up
came
until 1925 and 1926, right?
Islam.
Now read the back of your questionnaire.
Got you. It says, our authority, copy, book 521, page 579, State of Illinois, Cook County. SS number is 1010-5905, file for record,
Corporation, religious affidavit organization, form number 10.
It's a religious affidavit.
Yes,
You know what an
affidavit.
affidavit is?
Yes,
It's a sound statement of truth
yes.
that cannot be rebutted. Really, they can rebut it, but they would fail.
Technically,
It's
yes.
not a writ in its ordinary form, nor a motion.
Islam.
So therefore, he's establishing, we all agree that we're government here?
Yes.
Absolutely.
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 You get the point?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Is there any contention?
No.
No.
Europeans or Asiatics?
None, no contention.
It's our authority.
Right, exactly. Exactly. Which is no different than,
There you
than a
go.
commission. A commission and authority is the same thing when you actually researching, but Prophet knows.
So you're what? Claiming your birthright
Yes.
and exercising it.
Yes.
Now, but I'm just saying that I'm saying that because I want us to all recognize that some of the things that we kind of seek, we just need to come conscious of it and agree to act.
Islam.
You don't need a pair of shoes. When we getting shoes? You know, here you got bought a meal in here. Sorry to hook this up. Here you are.
Todd, if what you're saying is true. For a lot of the remedy, we see just simple remedy.
It's simple.
The
It's simple.
the bills of attainder.
It's
Before even dealing with a bill of attainder, I can go right to the. I mean, write a.
Now, what happens with us? What happens is Rome captures one under color of law and admiralty, and waiting for these grand sheiks and stuff to act from their consul position. Because isn't that about what in our relationships with others?
Yes.
Isn't that diversity?
Right.
Citizenship.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
When he says take your places amongst the affairs of men, isn't that diversity?
Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes.
What is the proper venue for diversity between nation states? It's consular. Have we been doing it?
Nope.
No.
No.
We've been talking about our beliefs. They got a damn thing to do with it. You see what I'm saying? So all you need is competent people. If you're competent for the moment, we send you down there to get Freddie from around the corner with a witness with you. They're already obligated to that, but they ain't obligated to our BS and UCCs and I got my birth certificate. They're obligated to that. You gonna play the game they keep offering you? They're obligated to the Constitution and treaties. Why you gonna keep on stepping off the Supreme Law, trying to use something inferior and you ain't mad because you ain't getting sandwiches? This is basically what we keep doing. Oh, anyway.
Well, the treaty existed longer than the UCCs.
Time,
Indeed.
concept. Let's do this again.
25.
But with the understanding this. So, what you do, you sign when we have these meetings. The fuck.